Summers in North Queensland are hot, damn hot. Hot enough that the locals will often go out and fry an egg on random surfaces like the road or the hood of their car, in much the same way that Canadians go out at -40 to throw boiling water in the air. I'm not sure why. It's also humid like breathing warm soup or constantly feeling moist and having your hair frizz all to hell no matter what you do. Kind of humid. I know this, that the summer of 2022 was awfully hot, heat wave conditions. And I know this because we'd arrived in North Queensland, having driven 2,000 kilometres to attend my father's funeral. My dad had been born in North Queensland, and it was his fervent wish to go back there. So we all got together, made the long trek after his very short battle with cancer. I say battle with cancer. Dad, it wasn't really a battle. There was no great war being fought. Dad lived with cancer the same way that he lived with his advanced dementia, the same way that he lived with his diabetes, and a myriad of other chronic health conditions, quietly and with as much dignity as dying in illness ever allows anybody. It was a very short battle, as I've mentioned, and he lived with this quiet dignity. The final trip up north was made for us, cars, planes. For Dad, it actually occurred in the back of a refrigerated truck. I had no idea that was even a thing. So I just hoped that it was an ice cream truck, because he didn't get diabetes by eating apples, I can assure you of that. As I mentioned, it was very hot. So getting back to the tropics, getting back to the cane fields of North Queensland, we'd all arrived only to be told that we needed to provide 6 pallbearers. We realised really quickly that we didn't actually know 6 men under the age of 80. I believe their exact words were, "You need 6 young, strong men. These coffins are really heavy, you know." So we did some quick scouting around. My family, as I said, is not young, we're not large. In fact, we're not even men. So it was a bit of a challenge. We managed to find my partner, my cousin, who took Dad's head. My sister and I got the middle because my dad didn't raise no princesses, although we do have our moments, but not on that particular occasion. And the celebrant, who was also the local ambulance driver, and one of Dad's male friends took the toes. We managed, it was all good. The other problem that arose that day was that they started talking heat wave, not just normal hot, heat wave hot. The kind of hot that just radiates up off the ground. So there was a bit more of a scramble. A cover was found, chairs were arranged, because we had very foolishly forgotten about North Queensland heat. And so we had arranged for a brief graveside funeral service, because not being religious, we thought the church might fall down if we actually all turned up there. So out in the open paddock it was, but we had cover, we had chairs, it was all good. The day of the funeral was lovely. Cool wind came in, the cane was waving beautifully. A late harvest meant that the local sugar mill was puffing out gentle steam clouds as we went through the day. And everything was pretty good. Annie Pearl managed not to fall in the hole with her wheelie walker. It was that close. Marta managed not to flash all the old Italian men that Dad used to work with when the wind blew up her skirt. Also that close, that close. And so it was a good day. We were quite happy until we were told the electronic winch was broken. The heat had burnt the motor out. So we needed to do a quick whip around, find more cousins under 80, and Dad was eventually buried by 4 women and 2 men. Given that he was the sole man in a family full of strong women, I think he would have been okay with that. In the aftermath of the funeral, as we were pulling the ropes out, And I have to say, for those who've never done it, lowering a coffin into a big hole with a rope, not easy. Not easy at all, especially if you wore a dress and heels. Really not easy. It was a skill I never knew I'd actually need. Go figure. At the end of the day, we pulled the ropes out. As I was handing them back to the funeral director, I did mutter quietly under my breath that if she was giving me a shovel, I was going to demand a refund, because we did not order the do-it-yourself funeral package. The joys of dying in small country towns. We all gathered and adjourned back to the local pub, where there was freshly made sandwiches made by the local Italian ladies. There was cups of tea and many stories being told about Dad's childhood and his working life at the sugar mill. It occurred to me on many occasions as I listened to those stories that his story had actually come full circle as we buried him in the place where he was born 84 years before. Thank you.